How we doing, everybody? We're back in my car. But no, happy May the 4th, Return of the 5th, and Revenge of the 6th. It's going to be a great 3-day bender. If not, the whole month is dedicated to Star Wars, as it should be. But no, welcome back. I'm back. It's great to be back. I am so excited to start pushing content again, but I do have to say before I continue any of this that I am deeply apologize. I'm sorry. A lot's been happening going on since I left. It's the end of last year and early this year. There's a lot to update about. There's a lot of things I'm excited to tell you about, and let's just get to it. Let's just dive in. So as we all know, May 4th is a very important holiday for all of us Star Wars fans. The day before is also a new magical day for me, because last year on May 3rd, I asked the love of my life to get married, and it has been nothing but a huge blessing and excitement, and it just was so ecstatic and so in love, and it's just great. And I know everyone says it, but I just feel like I'm just one of the few that actually loves their wife. So it's great. We're getting married next year in May. The month of May will be magical, not just for Star Wars, not just for my best friend's birthday, but because we're getting married. And it's just the greatest month ever. But the devil's got twinkle little stuff in there too, because I also get mad allergies. So that's fantastic. The second thing I want to say is I'm not in the state of Maryland. I actually moved to Seattle, Washington in December, and I'll be staying here until July for dive school, DIT, Divers Institute of Technology. I finally figured out a way to pursue a career in diving. So as you know, I've been scuba diving all my life. I've had the blessing and opportunities to dive in Japan, China, the Philippines. It's been really great, and now I get to do it here, stateside and commercially. So it's been a challenge. It's fun. It's nice and refreshing getting into a room of people and individuals that want to do the job as well. Will they last? I don't know, but that's not the point. It's been really fun. I've been on the West Coast before. I've been to Oregon and California, but I've never been to Washington. So now I've explored the whole coast. So what we did with that is I took it to my core friends, and out of that group that we made, I took the core of them, and I brought them in a room, and got everyone together. I had this whole PowerPoint presentation. I had notes, I had a packet for everyone to give out, and I said, hey, it's a little crazy. The theatrical and building set stage for quite a bit, and a lot of us were gonna pursue it as an actual career. So I brought them all together and saying, hey, it would be a great first time making a real an active movie, being an adaptation of this, making a Star Wars film, a fan film. And took some convincing, but not really. It was be a learning opportunity for everybody, and we did. So that's how Project Revan was born. Project Revan was such a unique and fantastic experience, because a lot of us had a background of productions with churches and plays, and either professional or intermediate or just live professional, and it just a whole bunch of different avenues. But having all of us come together, for the most part, it was our first feature-length film, a fan film, going on the internet. Was such a fun experience and a very learning experience. None of us really knew what we were doing at first. We had to do a lot of research, put our heads together, especially for the beginning, because it ended up being a 3-year-long project. So what happening was, probably the first year I was directing it. It's outside just being the founder, and then I was joining the military. So by the time we had a change of hands, so the producers ended up taking over, which they did a fantastic job, arguably a better job than I would have at the time, and it being really great. I was really proud of that, of what we did, we're able to accomplish, and the lifelong friendship that we have for their family. Such a unique experience, and a lot of us have gone on forward to using what we learned, that I experienced, to go into our careers, and a lot of them are still in the industry. Not just me, who just dabbles, but it's great. And it did really well for a fan film. I think it did over 2 million views on YouTube, and then they did a live theater showing, and by my understanding, I think it was sold out. And then when I did a showing of it in Japan and at the Marine Corps base, and I think we had over 200 people watch, and that was just for that one showing. A lot of people, the whole regiment allowed me to advertise for it. So, and that regiment had couple thousand people there. So it's just like really cool. All of us are able to come together and enjoy like our love and passion for Star Wars into this project, which is such a blessing to be a part of. And then there were talks of doing a sequel. A lot of people wanted it to happen, and we were going to do Rev in the Fall, which I was super stoked at the time because it was going to cover the story of Knights of the Old Republic, the video game, and that would have been a really cool adaptation. Plus, it wouldn't be like a first time learning everything kind of project, like kind of how the last one was. This time, like, we've had a few years into the industry. We had a lot more hands have been, a lot more money, a lot of people that had like more experience. So this could have been a lot cooler, a lot grander of a scale. I was super excited. Now, eventually it did not end up panning through. It ended up being shelved, which I was a little upset about at the time, but everything happened for a reason. And there's just sometimes things that were happening in the background that probably wouldn't have helped. But again, it is what it is. And the little teaser you got is pretty cool to watch every once in a while. Like, kind of like I like to think about it as like, I wonder what would have been look like if that would have pushed through. Now, fast forward a few years in the military, it's because I was getting out of the industry and going into military life, but we ended up, I felt like that Jonah and the Whale kind of thing. Whenever I kind of go away from the industry, it kind of like, I always find myself being called back into it. So halfway through my military career, I was helping out with the chaplain and combat camera, film some things for like training videos, or like helping the chaplain in the regiment with their stuff. The Single Marine program, we filmed a lot. Consulted a lot with my experience. Went back to America, went to California, and I ended up linking up with a guy who was working on a project, and he just wanted me to consult. So we talked for a few hours, and it was super cool. And they had this whole different vision of like not using live action, more like motion capture, which I like never seen that in a fan film. I thought that'd be really cool, and I never heard anything about it for like multiple years until like just I think like during or right after COVID, and I saw a little fan film that his YouTube channel posted, and it was like a short called Malik. Super crazy, and like when I saw it, it hit me. I was like, oh, I know that guy. I know those group of guys. Like, that's so cool. Like, and I don't claim any like ownership of it. Like, all I did was consult, but just like the idea of like, oh wow, like I feel like my little touch was heard, and that was really, really unique. And even after the military, from the military to now, like my gradual return into the industry has been interesting because I've helped other people, more definitely behind the scenes, which is really interesting because there's a lot of writing. I'll have to write a lot of scripts or help actors read for scripts. Like we worked on stuff for Reacher season 3. That was really cool. And then we did Law and Order. We did a Law and Order episode, which is super cool. We did stuff for the HBO show Raised by Wolves. They were inspired by a clip that we did. And some other things here and there. Like, it is super cool just like hearing more people and helping out more actors, and maybe like my sister and family are still pretty involved as well. Started a YouTube channel, and then that's where we are today. So it's kind of crazy how it all pans out. So it's crazy with all my limited experience with the industry. I've not had a lot of screen time. I've always been behind the scenes. And yes, we grew up in a theatrical household. We've done a lot of projects and plays and been on sets and films. But I mainly thrived behind. For example, even when I was a kid, we wrote tons of comics and short stories. And after the scenes, like even in college, when we did our first film, we directed a Star Wars film. But what's crazy, and that group of leaders ended up becoming strong in the industry. You got cinematographers, you got actors, you got sound and production. And yes, I was members producing found a role, but it was so different and challenging. We all grew from that experience. And even after Project Revan, what became a summer project became a 3-year project, and would eventually become Project Revan, and then Revan in the Fall. They stuck with it, and I left, and now coming back, it's like coming in full circle and having these old conversations, especially about Star Wars. It's very heartwarming, for sure.